Like to talk about a London system opening, which you can actually use against uh, lot of the closed games. It's known to be a little bit of a boring opening, but it's a very solid opening, and it can actually be quite interesting depending on what you play. And also going to show some traps that can happen in the London system. So let me first explain to you the typical moves that happen in the London system. Is the first is a queen pawn move. uh, then the response is usually that, and you can develop your knight, and then you develop your bishop on this square. This is actually a pretty good place for the bishop, and it also allows you to move your pawn. And typically the pawn is moved, so you can see there is a good nice supporting chain of pawns here on the black side, or on the black squares or the dark squares. And usually the black will play this attacking this, but you want to keep that chain intact, so you can move this pawn at this point. And usually the knight is moved here so it can support this other knight. That's the typical move. And that's pretty much how the London system opening is. Like, you have this chain of pawns, and then you have this bishop here, and the knight is here, and knight. And usually it's a pretty solid opening. The game actually this is happening is played by Alakine, who was the fourth world chess champion. And as you can see, when he played against George Marsakal, it lasted about 40 moves, and then George retired. George basically resigned. But usually, it's a pretty solid opening. It's kind of a little bit difficult to play because it's a very closed game. You can see it's not easy to kind of penetrate. So that's an example of London system opening. So as promised, I'm going to show you a few traps that can happen, even though this is a pretty stodgy kind of a opening. So let's just take a quick look at when things might go wrong or if there's a trap. So let's say you just start with this. This is the London would be normally opened. And here you have to kind of watch out for the queen coming here and attacking this pawn. So that could happen, and that sometimes is a problem. And in this case, the knight is moved here, so that way, even if the pawn is gone, they can attack this pawn. So that's really what the trap is. So the queen takes this pawn, and this knight takes this particular pawn. And it's threatening to go over here and essentially do a fork here with the king as well as the rook. But that's where the problem happens, is basically you can take this knight which is defending this key square, and when that's taken, here you can deliver the fork. So very nice. So you have to kind of watch out for this trap that can happen in the London system, and something to watch out. Let's take a look at another trap that can happen in the London system. And let's say these are the start signature moves. And here, let's say uh, you are being attacked right away, this bishop. And looks like this could be easily taken, so you might just want to take it. But that's where the problem begins. And here is a check by the queen, and no matter what you do, your bishop is gone. So that's another trap in the London system. And I can show you one more quick trap here. And these are the standard moves that I've made. And here what you can do is, since the rook is actually not protecting this pawn, you can just take this pawn. But in this case, he decides to give it a check. And then the queen is giving a check. And then, yeah, that's a disaster. Because now if the king just has to move somewhere here, the rook is also gone. So something to watch out. So thank you for watching this short screencast, and you have a great day.